let's go back. Menace II Society soundtrack. What was your overall thoughts on it? Like then?
Shit, still, it's a classic.
Yeah.
And the sleeper song forever will be Kenya Gruv, Top of the World.
Is that a sleeper song that like people don't know about, or do you think everybody knows about that joint?
I think it's a regional thing.
You think that
Kenya Gruv, Top of the World?
Well, no. So I actually heard you saying that. So I think it is regional because I know it was a jam for me, right? I loved it, but you just don't hear people talk about it enough.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, it's like it doesn't exist, and it's like this was a good song. This was a nice definitely a little dance to a song to slow dance to.
Yes, and maybe that's a regional thing. Maybe we were just in that song.
Midwest to the West Coast.
Yeah,
and parts of the South.
Maybe.
I found his Instagram page, Mr. Kenya Gruv. Found his Instagram.
Top of the world.
That was the joint though. Like what? How wasn't able to come? Like that's his only song, right?
Yeah, I never heard anything else from him. He was like the hood version of Mark Morrison.
One he was the hood version of Mark Morrison.
All right, wait.
Mark
what other
song having the single though, didn't he?
I don't think so. I think he just had Return of the Mac and just dipped. He just got out of it.
Well, I know he kept going to jail.
I think he just been eating off of that song. What other songs did y'all talk about?
No, we didn't start.
That was the first song.
Cool. We're just talking about his overall thoughts before we start going through each track.
Classic. Definitely one of the top. For me, I always feel like it's like a top 5 of of hip hop soundtracks, and that's in it. Complex put it at number 9 on their 25 best hip hop movie soundtracks of all time. For reference, they have Above the Rim at number 2 and 8 Mile at number 1. So again, Complex can't be trusted.
Yeah. So, I don't even have 8 Mile in my top 20.
That's what I'm saying. Not in my top 20. What they got on there? What Lose Yourself and fucking Wankster? That's it that I know off of there.
Right. I didn't know Wankster was on there.
Yeah, Wankster's
that's
on
how.
there.
That's how. This is what we are with it. But the lead single off of Menace II Society soundtrack, Trigger Got No Heart, made it to number 71 on the Hot R&B hip hop songs and number 9 on Hot Rap songs. The second single, Straight Up Menace, peaked at number 72 on Billboard Hot 100 and number 46 on Hot R&B. And the third final single, Unconditional Love, reached number 92 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 21 on Hot R&B. And Unconditional Love, high five.
It's about trust and honesty.
All right, we can go through track by track. The first track, Nigga Gots No Heart, Spice One. So now keep in mind, everyone, there is a difference between the two songs.
Yeah, Trigger
there's a Nigga Gots No Heart and there's a Trigger Gots No Heart. They're two different songs.
Trigger Gots No Heart is on there. It's a bonus track. So like at the end.
And it's the radio friendly version as well.
Yeah, for the video.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure when he turned that in, he was like, they're like, man, this mug snapping, man. We gonna have to, but can we change the nigga to something else?
Trigger.
What about niggas? Got no heart. Like, no, sir. Mr. Spice One, I didn't mean niggas. I mean, can we figure out another synonym for nigga that we can put this on the radio because the song is slapping? Trigger.
Which makes me wonder though, because with radio edits back in the day, you could have a whole different radio version of a song.
Yeah.
And it would make me wonder, when you were creating your explicit version, were you also thinking about how to make it a non-explicit version for radio?
Said they did all the time.
You had to have, because to hear Fuck with Dre Day. for the first time the explicit version after only knowing
totally different than hearing the box version.
Only knowing the video and the radio version, and to finally get to hear the Chronic raw, and you're just like, but it's also like it's almost like the radio versions were better. Sometimes
they were.
The extra cuss words were just unnecessary. Like, it's like, did you just cuss just because you could?
Like, what song was that Snoop did when he did the auto-tune, the sensual seduction?
Yeah.
Like, the explicit version was sexual eruption, but sensual seduction is just way better.
Yeah. And low-key, I like Trigger Got Your Heart better than Nigga Got Your Heart. I like the Trigger Got Your Heart version.
Like, that's that. Like I said, hearing the... sometimes radio versions were way better. And I think, so kids, this is why some of us old folks kind of talk about the music that's on the radio now. It's about accessibility. It's not about the lyrical content per se. It's the accessibility of it. And now it's like radio versions don't exist. They don't even do a good job of bleeping out the words. I remember trying to hear This Bitch, That Hoe. And on the radio. Right. This, that, let me see you, this, that, let me see you, this, that, let me see you.
Like, figure it out.
Like, figure it out. Like, those blanks, that's where you came in with your cuss word. That's it. But now on the radio, you're going to hear this bitch, that hoe. Let me see your pussy, this bitch. You're going to hear that. And
Don't Save Her it's like that too. Like, they change up a whole bunch of like stuff and Don't Save Her from 362 that you mentioned in the Hypnotized Mind.
That part. It's accessibility. It's how easily you're able to get those lyrics now versus before. But next song on
Straight Up Menace.
Straight Up Menace. If you've never seen the movie, listen to the song.
That's all you need. That's it. And if you watch the movie,
I heard the song before I watched the movie, but my dumb ass still didn't realize they told me the movie already.
If you watched the movie and maybe you had to get up to go to the bathroom or something, or somebody called you and you was playing on your phone, it's okay, because when the credits roll,
it's like a song all over again,
and you get a song.
It gives you the clip notes.
The only thing is, he just don't say any names. He just don't say any names.
But the Straight Up Menace is nothing but a recap of the entire movie, beginning to end. A fucked up childhood. It's like, that's it. We are there.
He did the same thing on Boys in the Hood too, growing up in the hood.
Yeah.
MC Eiht is a great narrator. He likes to summarize. Like, look, okay, I know you just watched.
We're gonna start calling him Cliff Notes.
Look, hey, the movie about my life. That's who I need to do a song on the soundtrack. Just summarize it all on up at the end. When the credits are rolling, I want to hear MC Eiht telling somebody to wake their punk ass up.
Gia.
Not do shut.
Gia. Again, as always, MC Eiht is in the movie, and as far as I'm concerned, that man was not given a script.
No, he said he wasn't. I just saw the drink champ. He said that they let him ad-lib most of his stuff.
He was AWACS, man.
Yeah, anyway, like I think, like I said, I've always believed that. Like, even without knowing that, I've always believed that he walked in there and was like, "What y'all want me to do?" And they was like, "This is the situation. We just gonna hit record."
Yeah, just be yourself, but this finna happen.
Right. This everybody's name. Just remember everybody's name. All right.
He said he remember other people's lines and he would just respond to a line like, "Hi, you want?" So everybody else remember their lines, but he would just respond in a way. So he said he never had any lines. He just responded to their lines in the way he thought that he should respond as a dude from, Compton.
Right. That's what he on the phone. He's like, "Who all over there? Me, dog, whack." And to know me and know, like, that's not a word that I say or whatever, but
it's certain moments like that movie where it's just like so funny to you.
Like, it just is in the audience who feels a certain way because I just said that word. I have the gay mafia will come for you. Like, it's like I am not it. Like I'm not the like I am not the person who says things like that. And it is trust me saying it right now. I'm not saying it's coming from a place of love. I'm repeating the line. That's it. But
a movie from over 30 years ago.
Look, listen.
Next song was "Packing a Gun" by Ant Banks.
Ant Banks.
When I think of Ant Banks, I just think of Too Short, and I don't have an opinion on Ant Banks. I just don't.
It was a cool song. It wasn't.
I just don't have an opinion on.
I mean, Top of the World is next after that. Kenya Gruv.
Yeah.
Now, the way these songs are positioned, though, I do have issues with that. Maybe we should have moved this neck to neck with the high five joint. I think they should have kind of been back to back, maybe, and not spread out like this.
But when I think about the Above the Rim soundtrack, slow jams were thrown in there. So number 3 is Part-Time Lover, and 4 is Big Pimpin'.
But it still got kind of the same groove though. It's like I'm you my part time, but I'm still pimping you. Like I gotta go with that flow.
And then I'm trying to think, even because like what? Yes, because 1 is Anything, 2 is Old Time's Sake, 3 is Part-Time Lover, 4 is Big Pimpin'. Why do I know that off the top of my head?
I thought you were looking at
I'm not looking at anything.
Damn.
I'm not looking at anything. This is literally me just thinking in my head
about
about
an album was in heavy rotation in your house.
Like I said, that was the first CD I ever owned. So like I think 5 is Didn't Mean to Turn You On, something like that. But either way, or somewhere there.
But Kenya Gruv, the song was produced by Dwayne Wiggins of Tony, Raphael Sadiq's brother, which makes sense after you know that you're like, oh. Yeah, this do sound like
my name is Lil Wayne.
I was sitting here trying to get that line in my head so that I could say it. Because it's like, okay, you got to get the line right because you have to execute it perfectly. And my brother came, I knew where I was going. He already knew where my mind was.
The next song, Only the Strong Survive from Too Short. See, this is what I'm saying, though. How do we go from, and I guess it's the same thing with Above the Rim. You go from Part-Time Lover to Pimpin'. Same thing with Too Short here after the Kenya Gruv joint.
Yeah.
This was an okay Too Short joint. It was fine.
MC Eiht was the only person on the soundtrack that watched the movie. No.
Oh, no, you're right. Because the other song I'm thinking about, Pocket Full of Stones, that we talk about later on, that was remixed already.
Yeah, that was.
But that remix is so it's funny because when I saw Wikipedia calls it the Port Arthur remix, I've always heard it referred to as the Pimp C remix. But to that point, now I need to actually listen to whatever version they're talking about because there's more than one version of Pocket Full of Stones. Out there.
Yeah, because that one is kind of more like the clean version too. It ain't really not a lot of cussing on that. The one. We had more bass in it.
Let me see. And then because there's what's the other one? There's another one. There's another version that my friend Candace always talks about because we can find it, but sometimes we can't. Keep talking because I'm gonna find that version.
Yeah.
And then we got All Over a Hoe next by Miss Kilo. Now I had to re-listen to this one. I was like, oh, this was just one of them kind of fun joints where you just kind of like just letting people kind of chill and you want to go get something to drink or eat while this is playing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not memorable.
Yeah. That was the song they put in for the fight.
Right.
Old girl. Yeah.
Right. So it was kind of like, all right, we cool. And then next was the Lynch Mob, Gorillas Ain't Gangsters. I remember liking this song a lot. Lynch Mob would always give you 1 or 2 songs. They got Gorillas
in the Mist.
Gorillas in the Mist, and they had another joint too, and then this one.
Gorillas Ain't Gangsters. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Everything's Gorillas.
Yeah, everything was Gorillas. Next up, I really like Smooth, man. You've Been Played.
Oh, hell yeah. You've Been Played.
I forgot that was on that soundtrack. I just thought that was a regular single. I forgot that was on that soundtrack.
I forgot that it was on the soundtrack until I pulled it up, and I was like, shit. I'm like, that was my song. You know that you've been.
Smooth, yeah. I used to, I like that was her and Yo-Yo was my rapper crushes.
And you know what? I could see that, and I approve.
And now this is where it kind of and people understand like sound, like if you went back and redid this soundtrack, like some of these are like the next artists, I love them, but I don't know if they should have been on a West Coast album because it's just the feel of what you wanted for the album. But then on the flip side, I also know that Cypress Hill, Killer Man is in like 2 or 3 fucking soundtracks on East Coast movies. So, it is what it is. They were a lot of trying to be unified. Like, man, we can't have the whole album be West Coast, and that song is Lick Them Motherfuckers from Brand Nubian. Which was a cool song. It was cool. And then right after that is P-Rock and CL Smooth, Death Becomes You, which is a dope ass song.
But you know what? It's kind of like a segue into their next movie, going into Dead Presidents.
I see.
It's kind of like going into that, because that was
I can see what you're saying. Oh, good point. I didn't
even though it took place in the 70s and
but it
Vietnam. They's like, we gonna smooth it on out.
And then next we had Unconditional Love, High Five.
Baby, this is not enough. Baby, that is.
This was people understand this song was so big. Like, was this the biggest song on the album? Y'all think?
No, I think MC Eiht was probably. I think MC Eiht probably had the biggest song. Straight Up Menace.
No, it looks like High Five was.
High Five?
No, okay, so
Billboard wise.
Everything, so like Billboard wise, everything charted. Like all the 3 singles, so Trigger Got No Heart, Straight Up Menace, all of them charted. So Unconditional Love was number 21 on the Hot R&B things, and
man, what was number 1 at these times? What was number 1 through 5 at these times? With like SWV and Babyface.
Now, don't ask me that question because now I got to find out. So.
I'm like, if Straight Up Menace is what 76. That's where it peaked at.
Peaked at number 7.
You gotta remember, hold on. Y'all gotta remember, Anita Baker was still dropping songs that we've already proven.
Yeah, Anita Baker.
She was going diamond on niggas and we didn't even know.
Yeah. She was still going out. She was still
a threat out here. Look, our parents was out here buying that stuff. That Anita Baker.
They was buying that shit for them, and they was buying that shit for us.
Hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC Network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.